I'm Linda Segerstam. I teach Pilates for golfers. This routine is about working your legs, but also working your sides so that we create strength to avoid early extension and swaying and these things that might cause a bit of an issue for our scores and for our game. So we start first warming up because we need to warm up the whole spine, and I'm going to start with hip rolls. Great exercise just to get movement. There is some focus on our core as well here. If your back is a little bit stiff, you need to have support from your front. So take a breath in and then breathe out, and feeling a little gentle squeeze in your stomach muscles. The arms can go wide if it feels good to have them there. And then we start to rotate the knees and hips over to one side. And you can probably sense straight away if it feels a little bit tight in your back and you need to make it a smaller movement or a slower movement. I'm going to keep going with a pace that feels good in my body. So just allow the hips and the knees to move. We can narrow it down a bit more, but right now I'm just trying to warm up my spine. So I'm going to let my knees and hip and spine and head move as well. Now from here, I'm going to go straight in for glutes. So I'm going to wake up my buttock muscles. Taking the arms down by the side, find a good position for your feet, further away harder, feet closer easier. Trying to find the squeeze in your buttocks, both sides. I'm squeezing my bum and I'm going to lift the hip up and then maybe find height if that feels good in your body. Hold it and test, okay, they're on. And then we're trying to keep some of that squeeze as we go down and we lift again. So some squeeze still left to support the movement down too. Not the necessarily the easiest of exercise for everyone because we might have a tight back, we might not feel our glutes. So you got to figure out how to squeeze them, and that might be just a little squeeze up and down. Or if you're happy to lift fully and your hips are yay, loving this, you go for a lift that's high. I'm going to go and lift up high because my body likes it. Lift up, squeeze the bum. There we go. It's waking up now. For 5 and 4 and 3. Okay, check your knees are fine too. Now we're going to think about the lift. So we're going to hold it. We're going to think about the weight. Don't let the weight be in your shoulders. It needs to be in your feet as well so we can feel the legs working rather than pushing into shoulders hard. We're going to lift up maybe a bit more if you've got space. We're going to take a breath in. And I'm going to roll down. I'm going to breathe out. I'm going to roll my chest down, roll into the mid back, the lower back, and then let the hips come back. And then back to my start position. I do it again. But this time, I'm going to turn my pelvis. I'm turning it slightly towards you, lifting up with the tailbone, roll up, find the top height, take a breath in, hold it, and then roll back down through the spine. I'm also thinking about what my chin is doing. If you wanted to tuck in there, I'm going to try to just keep it free. So I'm going to do that again, lifting up, finding my height, the weight up in my feet, I'm holding it, I'm breathing in. And I'm going to relax my chest and come down, rolling through the spine. I can feel the glutes have worked and they're woken up, and I'm going to change position. So I'm coming to the cat. The cat has a really good value for a lot of things. I'm going to go for a slow version first if you haven't done many cats in your life. So finding position, not too narrow, not too far, just enough to find your box. Now find your neutral spine first, which is not rounded and not too dipped. So somewhere in between, and then we're going to wrap our stomach muscles up to lift up, then to the ribs, and then allow the shoulders to come around. And I'm going to let my chest come forward first with the head, dipping my mid-back and the stomach muscles, and then find the opposite way. Start again. Stomach muscles wrap in to lift your ribs, lift your shoulders, and then I'm placing my head and chest back, the mid-back, the lower back, and trying to lift the tailbone. One more time. So tailbone down, lifting through the spine, finding space, lift and hold, and then come back. And then from here we go to core exercise. A core exercise we will need our stomach muscles in the exercises we're going to do. So I'm going to turn onto my back again, finding a good position to lift my head and shoulders. Wiggle about if you need to. Neutral, a bit of space under your back, but the core stomach muscles are working to support that space, or imprint back flattened. You're going to lift higher, but you haven't got as much focus on your core because your back is pushing down. So pick your position. I'm going to go neutral first, plant the toes into the floor, spread them out, lift the head and shoulders, And see if you can lift using your lower stomach. Bit of squeeze there to support if you have your neutral spine. The bottom ribs are down as you lift, and they're trying to stay close to the floor as you go down. Now find a good rhythm. Breathing out as we lift. And down. Rhythm is important. Slow is not always easier. It's super slow. Somewhere in between. Very quick is also challenging. So find a good rhythm for 4. And 3. Last 2. And lift. And the last one you're going to hold. And just see if you have the strength to lift and hold. We stay lifted. Free up the neck. Good. And then we come all the way back down again. The next one we do is trying to keep the hips calm whilst we're moving the knee. It will make sense when we come to the exercise because we don't want to over tighten in our hips. So your knee drop. So as your knee goes out, test it a few times and just see if you can move your thigh and your leg without moving your hip. For most people that I see, as soon as your legs start moving, your hip starts moving too. So we need to turn on some abdominal muscle here. So take a breath in, fill into the ribs. And then breathe out. See if you can feel the squeeze around the bottom of your spine, so towards the hip bones, squeezing in. And then we're trying to take a leg out to the side without moving the hips, and then come back again. Same side again, out to the side. And return. Change side, try the other side. Can you keep your hips stable now? When you turn on your core. One more time, out to the side. And then we're going to add counting. I really like counting here. Feet and knees in parallel. One leg stays still. Hips are staying still. Find your core. There it is. And we move out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back for 4, 3, 2, 1. Make it smooth. Out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Same leg. In, in, in. In. Last time. Out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Stable hip, hopefully. 4, 3, 2, 1. Changing side. Take a breath in. Breathe out. A little bit of squeeze of our stomach. Out for 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back for 4, 3, 2, 1. So what I'm looking for is that you are able to keep your hips stable and not turning with the leg as it goes out. Come back 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Relax your shoulders. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then come back 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We have stabilized our hips. We know we can do it without tension. We're going to come up and we're going to start with our leg series exercise, which requires a little bit of a glute. So coming down onto your elbow can be done with an arm stretch and a cushion too, or here. Stretch your legs out, fully lengthen, stack them up, and maybe take them as far back as you can to see if you can. The back will be bent, and then bring them back into a nice line. And then we'll start with the lift of the leg. Returning the toes and knees slightly out to free up the hip so we can work the glute. And then we start lifting the leg up. That is your start position. That is what you want to do. And we can challenge this with different positions of our upper body and to keep going. If it feels really tight in your side of the hip, you have forgotten to use your buttocks. So bend your knees, take a break. If it feels good, we lift and down. Lift and down. Can we challenge it now? Bringing the hand to the hip. Abdominal muscles need to be on now. We've practiced. Okay, and then making it harder. The arm goes up, goes behind your head, lifting the elbow, lifting the head slightly, and still doing the exercise. Okay, now if you want to stay here, you keep going. I'm going to go to the higher, harder position. So I'm going to go up on the elbow. Now, this requires strength in your shoulder. So make sure your shoulder is happy with what you're doing. Lifting through your obliques too. Legs are still there, different angle. Hand here would be tricky, so let's try here first. Lifting the leg. Draw those rib cage muscles in. Keeping them active, supporting, and also from underneath the shoulder. If you want to make it harder, you bring the hand to the hip or even behind the head. Lifting the elbow, lifting the chest. For 3, and down. For 2, and down. One more time, and then we're going to check the variations. So coming down to the floor, the variations are circles and kicks. So I'm going to keep my knee bent just to show you. We're going to go for a circle first. Lift the leg, turn slightly out in the hip, not crunched in. And then we go around for 5 and 4. Make sure the buttock is working, supporting this. And 2 and 1. And then we change for 5 and 4. So glutes have to support as well as core when we do anything that's moving this much. Okay, last one. And then we go for the lift. The lightest lift forward is knee and foot in front of you, pressing away. Keeping the hip stacked so it doesn't turn in and start collapsing, knee or hip. Lightest, pushing away. Harder version is going to be the full leg. So we're kicking forward. Take the leg slightly back first and kick 1, 2. And swing the leg back. And 1, 2. Swinging back. Let's do 2 more. Kick, kick, swing back. And kick, kick, and swing back. Bring the legs together and then dig into those muscles if it feels good to relax them. We change side. Pushing up, bottom elbow, top hand. Relax in the middle. And then change to the other side. So, side lying series of legs first. Low. We started low. Arm stretch, cushion, arm here. I always take my legs back just to see, what does it feel like to stretch the hip out? And is the back feeling supported? So when you bring the legs in, think about how much you need to squeeze your core to support your back, and then start lifting up. The hand here is just pressing gently in the floor, and the neck and shoulders shouldn't be doing anything right now. We may be drawing in our ribs a little bit, not from the side squeezing, but from the top down, and then lifting the leg. Did we check the toes are slightly turned out, not in, and knees in, as we lift the leg? And is the buttock working? Is it helping out? If it's not, take a break and then go back again. Now, harder version would be lifting the hand in front of you as you lift the leg. Core has to work a bit more. Or lifting up the hand, elbow up, and lifting the head slightly. The whole body is now actively working in this exercise, but not hard. It's just there and toned. Now, if you want to work hard and you feel like, yeah, got a strong shoulder and strong underneath, we are lifting from here. So not collapsing into that shoulder. Check your back is fine too, because it's connecting into the back muscles too. And then draw up, hand into the floor, lift the leg, and lift the chest. So if you try it and it's too much, you just go down again. If it feels good and you want to do more, hand goes onto hip. We don't have as much room here because we are angled down, so it's different here. And all the exercise we did here, we did down, we can do here, but with the knee bent easier because it's not in the way. And then if you want to try hand behind the head, lifting up the chest, pushing the elbow up, and then lifting the leg, we do that too. Coming down for the variations. So bring yourself down, bend the bottom knee. Again, take a break if needed. Lift the leg up, stretch it out. Circles for 5, forward and back. Now, the bigger the circle, the more challenging for the hip to stay stable. So decide on the height and the size. Let's do 2. Check the buttock is working 2. And then we change direction for 5. My bottom knee wants to lift because of the weight of the top leg. So I can feel it lifting. I'm trying to press it down a little bit too. And one more time, and we go straight in for the lift, either the kick, so pushing down. So like you're tapping your knee in, but not collapsing in your hip. And easier, of course, with the knee bent. We are trying to imagine we are pushing against a resistance band. And the harder version comes now. Leg goes back, we're kicking forward. 1, 2, and swing back. Core active, stabilizing. And back. 3. And back. And 2. And back. Now, after this, we might need a stretch. If you've done quite a few of these exercises, we're going to just come up, we're going to dig into those muscles and come to a seated stretch. Push yourself off the floor. Okay, we are stretching one leg out. Going to relax the shoulders, bring the leg across, lift up high with your chest, your knee, and take hold of the knee with the opposite arm. You just stay there for a moment. It might be enough for you to get a stretch in your leg. You might not as well, depends on our muscles. And then we take the other hand behind, we lift the chest a bit more, and we can rotate. We are golfers after all. So we rotate, look over the shoulder as you breathe out. Look forward again, lift your chest up, breath in. And then breathe out to rotate and look over your shoulder. And return. And then we change sides. So stretch the leg out. The other leg comes up. And we bend the elbow, lifting up to your chest. And hold it if that feels nice enough. And it feels like, yeah, that's giving a nice stretch. And then take the hand behind, lift your chest again. And then breathe out to rotate. Look forward, breathe in. And then breathe out to rotate again. Okay, now we're coming to that kneeling position. So the kneeling series is different. It's working both obliques and legs. So we first of all test that we can. So we're taking the knees in position. We're checking that we have maybe some glute squeeze if needed, if the back feels a bit tight. And then you take the hands behind the head. All I'm going to do for now is checking I haven't bent in the wrong direction. I'm lifting up, squeezing and lifting where I need to. And then I'm bending sideways. And then lift. So that's the first part. We need to make sure we can bend. Okay, the body is happy to give us a bend. Breathe in, breathe out. The lighter version, obviously arms down by your side rather than behind your head. Okay, and now we know, okay, we can bend. We take one leg out to the side and just test our start position. And then we can move a little bit into the hip. We're going to come down to a hip hinge. So I'm going to walk my hands forward and then keeping the back flat and just moving forward and back a few times. So see how the leg is doing. And the hip. And then you can walk yourself back and then lift back up again. Now, the exercise is moving to the floor with the hands. So you might need a block here if it feels quite a far way to go. So lift up, core engaged. Arms are going to go out to the side. Start position is here. We're going to go down to the floor and fingertips or palm down, lift the arm. We're going to lift back up through obliques and we're going to switch the arms and go 1 and 2 and return to our start position. Breath in, going down and lift. Coming back, breathe in, breathe out and reach 1 and 2 and start again. Now onto your palm if it feels, yeah, I could go palm, lift, lifting back off the floor and switch 1, 2 and back. One more time. So towards the floor, stabilize and then breathe out, lift, breath in. And then breathe out to come back. Great. Now the last one we do here is going to be lift and leg, same as we did on the floor, but now in this position. Might not work in your spine or in your hip, so we test it. Lift. If it says no, don't do it. If you can, there we go. Lift and lift. The hand can go behind the head, lifting up, same as before, or staying here, tougher on that bottom hip, or lifting up and hold, depends on your anatomy. Last couple, lift, and then we bend back in, we come back, maybe sitting completely out of it if you need to sort of hug yourself and do something else in between, and then we change side. So, coming back to kneeling, stretching the leg out, testing that that feels okay in your spine and your hip, bit of core, bit of glutes, bit of everything. And then we come down, we're going to roll forward and hinge. So forward and back. Glide forward and back, just testing that that hip is okay with the movement. And then we walk ourselves back. We're lifting up. We're going to start here now. So everything stacked, one arm out, second arm out. Tap the floor if that's enough. Obliques and core. Lift. Lift back up again. Switch the arms. 1 and 2. And then come back to your start position. And again, so down, obliques and core. And legs. Lifting back up. Switch the arms. 1 and 2. And lengthen. Now palm into the floor. If it feels okay to go there. Palm and lift. Switch the arms. 1 and 2. And back. One more time. Going over and lift. Lifting through the hip, through the spine. And switching. 1 and 2. And then back to our start position. Okay, now comes the lift of the leg. So you either go all the way to the floor. If it felt okay here, we try it. We're lifting the leg up. 1. Okay, if it works, we go 2. 1, 2. And if it feels great, we do more. The hand can stay on your hip. There's a little bit more things going on around our spine and hip here now. So the strength needs to be everywhere and the flexibility. So the hand goes back and we're lifting high if you have range. and lower if you don't. Okay, last couple. Elbow lift. Good, and a foot back, lift back up again, return the knee back in, and now we come back to the cat. So, the cat now might have a different pace. You're going to bring the hands back underneath your shoulders, and the cat could be small. It feels nice to do a small cat. You can do a bigger cat, lifting up through your spine. Breathe in, and then flatten the back and tail and head at the same time. So different variations to what we did to start with, which was a slower, sequential one. This is moving. So I'm going to lift up. I'm going to breathe in. And then push the chest back and hip back and breathe out. 2 more. Breathing in. Flatten the back. Breathe out. 1 more time. Breathing in. Flatten the back and breathe out. And then we go to figure 4. Figure 4 is also demonstrated in the article I wrote for this series in Surrey Golf Magazine, if you're reading that. So the foot goes onto the opposite knee. If you can't get your feet off the floor, it's good as well to use a wall or something to take your foot onto. So the foot goes onto the knee. We take hold of the other leg, keeping the tailbone down and wrap the knees in towards you. So what we're trying to stretch is sort of glute and side of the hip. So if you can't feel the stretch, you might be lifting your tailbone too high. We could also try to turn our hips slightly to find the stretch that we require. So if it feels good, just turn into that. I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to breathe out. Relax the ribs on the back and bring the legs closer. If it feels nice, just stretch the other leg up. We go up and we flex the ankle. Good. And then we change sides. So 1 foot down, 1 foot onto the opposite knee. Lift up with a core, lifting in towards you. And again, it might not work in your spine and your hips. If you have long glute muscles, you can lift close. If you have shorter ones, they might just stay a bit further away. And they might be so tight they don't want to give you any space. So use something to place your foot on and walk up. So we move sideways if we feel like, okay, that's better. Or you keep your tailbone down, because lifting your tailbone is going to stretch your back. And we stay there again. So breathe in, relax everything, breathing out. Maybe bring the legs closer. 1 more breath. Breathe in, and then breathe out. Good. And all we need to do is come up to seated again. You can roll forward if you like. I'm going to do that. Lifting up, rolling forward. Come back to seated, and then just let the arms stretch up, 1 up and 1 down. So that was our leg series exercises that are good for golfers for avoiding early extension and swaying, and just getting that strength in the side to connect the upper and lower body as well. Very important muscles. And lift. Good. And that was all for today.